So this is what we're making today. His beads were silver, and I colored them with a black marker because he looked like he had silver teeth or gold teeth. So I just colored them black because they're supposed to be coal, and I really like it. Anyway, he's super adorable, and this is what we're making today. I got a cotton ball on the top. He's just adorable. I made the hat, and then my granddaughter just put a little bit of glitter on a piece of a Christmas tree that the cats chewed off. So that's what we're making today. He is adorable. I hope you're all happy and healthy and you enjoy this video. Thank you. Hello everyone. We are going to start with the body. Now for the bottom of our body, we are going to use the 5.0 crochet hook. This is, I believe, either Red Heart or Mainstay. And then we are going to change when we start going up to do the body part to the 3.5, just because I want my stitches to be nice and tight, because we are going to stuff it. I am going to put something on the bottom to weigh it down so it stands up really nicely. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope everyone is happy and healthy and having a great day. Looks like we're getting a storm here in Des Moines, Iowa. It got really cold and it's sprinkling a little bit out there. I love gloomy days, so I'm not complaining. So the first thing we're going to do, if you want to use a magic circle at any time, feel free. But I'm always going to just do the slip knot, and that will be hopefully be easy for beginners. I am going to chain 4. And then I'm going to do a double crochet in this very first one. You yarn over and go in. Now we are going to do a total of 12. So this is for beginners also, and I'm sorry, you do need to be able to do the double crochet and single crochet, and then we'll do front and back loops. But it's mainly just going to be these basic stitches. This is my 12th stitch. I'm going to pull that just to see if I can make that any tighter. Okay. Now we're going to slip stitch at the top of that chain, 3, and we are going to chain 2. Now in this next stitch, we're going to yarn over. We are going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. And we're only going under 2 strands. The end. And we are going to go into this stitch right here where we had the chain. We're going to go in there and do another stitch because that did count as a double crochet. Now we are going to go to the top of that chain 2 and do a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 2. Alrighty, so you can see that it's nice and flat. So we are going to yarn over and go into that next stitch, and we're going to do 1 double crochet. The next stitch, we are going to do 2 double crochets in there. It's going to be our pattern. The next stitch, 1, stitch after that 2, and that's what we're going to do all the way around. And this is going to keep our project the bottom of our little guy nice and flat. So I'm coming around here at the end. You can see how it came out because there's one there and then we did two. And here we did two, one, and we're going to do another one right here to make that two. So that's our base. Now we want to start making it curve up. So I'm going to chain two. And what I'm going to do now is do one double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and you're going to see it start to curve up. So just continue to do one double crochet until you come to the very end. I'm here at the end, and I'm not going to go in that last stitch there, but I am going to go to the top of that chain two, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Now you can see it starting to curl up, and I'm going to change my hook to my smaller one. And I do that because I want my stitches to be a little bit tighter. And you are more than welcome to decide that you want to continue to use the large one. It's up to you. But I'm going to chain two, and I am going to do a single crochet in each stitch for however tall. I'm going to turn it like this because this is the right side. I'm going to keep going. And at the top, we're just gonna sew around it and cinch it. So I am gonna do approximately 15 rows of single crochets. And when you get over here, you're gonna go into this last one here, and then you'll just slip stitch into that chain two. And then you'll chain two, and you'll just keep going around. So we are going to do 15 rows of these single crochets, and you are more than welcome to do more or less depending on how large you would like your project. Alrighty, so I went around my 15 times and it's nice and tall. So now we're going to go ahead and put our stuff in for stuffing. I have these little pebbles that I got at the Dollar Tree. You can get them at the Dollar Tree or Walmart. You can see that I've opened it and used some of them. So what I'm going to do is there's not very many left, so I'm just going to stick the whole bag in there for some weight. That they sit up nice and tall, and they don't fall over as easy if you have at least something on the bottom. So now I'm going to grab some stuffing, and I'm not going to overstuff it, but I just want to put it around it. I'm just going to just stick it in there. I'm not shoving it. And I'm not putting it all the way to the top because now we're going to bring this all together. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more on here. Okay. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to leave enough so that we can go around. Done with the stuff in here. We're going to grab this and bring it through and tie it tight. Alrighty, so we have it stuffed, and I have my needle here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go around this top. Let me get some more light here. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and out of this top here. Doesn't have to be precise. just going to go through. We're going to draw it at the top. Nobody's going to see the top because the hat will be on the top. Let's see, this should be the last one, and I'm going to pull it tight. There we go. Nobody's going to see the top. So I'm just going to take my needle. I'm going to close up the top. Okay, so now we're going to make the head of our snowman. We have our body. This is the same body that I use for my gnomes. I do close it off on the top because I do find it easier just to put the head on the top and sew it on. And you're not going to see where you sew it on because we are going to make a cute little scarf. And you can make your scarf any color you want to. So I am going to do my slip knot. And I'm using my 3.5. So of course my snowman is white. I'm trying to put him over that light, but I really want my videos to be more bright. So we are going to chain 4. We're going to yarn over and go in that very first stitch. We're going to yarn over and we're going to do a total of 8 double crochets in that same stitch. And this chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we are just going to go ahead and we're going to go right into the top of that chain 3. Okay, thank you, Coco. And we're going to do a slip stitch. So now we're going to chain 2. And we are going to do 2 double crochets into each. Alrighty, so I went around my 4 times. And when I put it here, because we're going to sew it on top, I think that is the perfect size for my head. And I'm going to drawstring the top of this because I want to put a hat on it. So I'm not going to worry about the top like I'm not going to worry about the top here. So now we're going to start decreasing. So we're going to chain 2. We're not going to go into that. We're going to go into the chain that we went into. We're going to go into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochets. Now we're going to decrease. And to decrease, you go into underneath 2 loops, and we're going to pull our yarn through. We're going to go into the next stitch, grab our yarn and bring it through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to grab our yarn and we're going to take it all the way through. Now we're going to do 3 more single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to decrease again. So we're going to go under 2 loops of the next stitch and bring our yarn up. We're going to go right into the next stitch, pull our yarn through and bring it up. We have 3 strands on our hook, and we're going to grab it and bring it through all 3. Now we're just going to do 3 single crochets in a row in the next 3 stitches. And that's just the pattern to do the decrease, which means we're going to be making it smaller. So we're going to decrease again, take it under 2 loops and bring your yarn up and through. Go into the next stitch, bring your yarn up and through. You have 3 loops. Grab your yarn, bring it through all 3. Now we're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And now we're ready to decrease again. So we're going to go under 2 strands, bring our yarn up, go into the next stitch, bring our yarn up. We have 3 strands, grab our yarn, take it through all 3. And now we're going to do our 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And we're going to decrease again. We're almost to the end. I'm going to see how many of these single crochets I can get in here. And it looks like I'm right here, and I'm not going to go into that top of the chain. I'm going to go above this first stitch. And I'm going to do a slip stitch. So see how our head is closing off really well. Nice size head. So I think right here I'm just going to chain 1 and pull it, because I want to sew this on here before I get too much further. And I have some other white that I'm going to use. Alrighty, so I went around my 4 times, and when I put it here, because we're going to sew it on top, I think that is the perfect size for my head. And I'm going to drawstring the top of this because I want to put a hat on it. So I'm not going to worry about the top, like I'm not going to worry about the top here. So now we're going to start decreasing. So we're going to chain 2. We're not going to go into that. We're going to go into the chain that we went into. We're going to go into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochets. Now we're going to decrease. And to decrease, you go into underneath 2 loops, and we're going to pull our yarn through. We're going to go into the next stitch, grab our yarn and bring it through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to grab our yarn and we're going to take it all the way through. Now we're going to do 3 more single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to decrease again. So we're going to go under 2 loops of the next stitch and bring our yarn up. We're going to go right into the next stitch, pull our yarn through and bring it up. We have 3 strands on our hook, and we're going to grab it and bring it through all 3. Now we're just going to do 3 single crochets in a row in the next 3 stitches. And that's just the pattern to do the decrease, which means we're going to be making it smaller. So we're going to decrease again, take it under 2 loops and bring your yarn up and through. Go into the next stitch, bring your yarn up and through. You have 3 loops. Grab your yarn, bring it through all 3. Now we're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And now we're ready to decrease again. So we're going to go under 2 strands, bring our yarn up, go into the next stitch, Bring our yarn up. We have 3 strands. Grab our yarn, take it through all 3. And now we're going to do our 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And we're going to decrease again. We're almost to the end. I'm going to see how many of these single crochets I can get in here. And it looks like I'm right here, and I'm not going to go into that top of the chain. I'm going to go above this first stitch. And I'm going to do a slip stitch. So see how our head is closing off really well. Nice size head. So I think right here I'm just going to chain 1 and pull it, because I want to sew this on here before I get too much further. So I'm going to put my yarn on my little plastic needle here. And you know, my last video in my gnomes, I said that I liked using the plastic ones better, and I just didn't know why. And you know what? I remembered why, because I'm constantly poking myself with the middle ones. And, you know, that doesn't feel good. So, let's just go ahead and sew this on here. So I'm just going to put this on here like this, and I'm going to sew it on from the outside. And like I said, I'm going to put a scarf around his neck. So I'm really not too worried about how it's going to look being sewed on. Just kind of try to get it sewed on as even as you can. Now I am going to hot glue my scarf on, and my buttons and my eyes and so forth. You can sew them on if you want to, but I will be using my hot gun. So if you don't have a hot gun, you can still do it yourself. You can still do it. You'll just have to sew them on. Okay, sew it all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot here. Like I said, I don't have a pattern for this, so I'm just kind of winging it. But I think he looks pretty good so far. Now, I am just going to go, oops, I got yarn all over here. I'm just going to go around one more time And I'm going to do a decrease row, and then I'm going to stuff him, and I'm going to end it. So I have 2 single crochets here. And I am going to go into this first one right here. And I'm going to do 2 single crochets. And one in one stitch, one in the next. And in this next stitch, I'm going to decrease. I'm going to pull it through, go to the next one, pull it through, grab my yarn, take it through the 3 loops on my hook. We're going to do a single crochet in the next one, and another single crochet in the next one, and then we're going to do another decrease. And I'm just going to do this all the way around. It's going to close his little head up really nicely, and then we're going to stuff him. I made several of these last year, and I gave them as gifts, and I wrote on them mom, dad, children's names, and I gave them away as gifts. And I really enjoyed making these last year. They were my thing to do last year. Coming here to the end, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to decrease. I'm just going to go ahead and go into that last stitch, and I'm going to go above. I'm going to skip that chain, and I'm just going to go right above here. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to pull it. So I think that's great. So I'm going to cut my yarn here. I'm just going to bring it through this loop because I'm going to stuff it, and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to pull it tight. And I love this stuff. It's not really even stuffing, it's more like snow. I can't even remember where I got it. I've had it for so long. But it's like snow you'd buy for like a nativity or something. And I just really like it. Last year I just used stuffing, and so this has just been sitting in the closet forever. Okay. So you can see I have this stuffed really nicely. Need no more of that. And I'm going to take my and we're just going to close it up. So I'm just going to go in between, just like I did with the body. This is working out really quickly. Just pull this tight. Oh, I didn't go all the way. I need to finish it. There we go. And I'm just going to go around here because I just like to make sure that the top is nice and closed. that glare isn't bothering you, I apologize. But at least it's a lot brighter than my last video. I've been doing this for a year, and you'd think I would have this down to a T, and I just don't, and I apologize. That long COVID has really got me. Okay. So, where's this coming from? Okay. So now we have the making of the body of our snowman. And he's super cute. So now let's work on the scarf. You just need to choose what color scarf you want to make for him. So we're going to put him to the side over here. I decided I'm going to use red. So I'm going to use my small crochet hook. And I'm going to do my slip knot. And I'm going to pull a lot out here. Okay. So how I'm going to do my scarf is I want my scarf to come here, come up, wrap all the way around his head, and then come down a little bit further. And then I'm going to have a little bit of fringe on each end. That's my plan. So I'm just going to make a long chain. And I'm just grabbing my yarn and pulling it right through. And you don't want to make these too tight because you are going to go right back through these. See if this is long enough. So I want my scarf to go here, go around his head. Oop, it is not long enough. And then I want it to come down here. So I want my scarf to be nice and thick. So I'm just going to go back and forth until it gets as thick as I want it. You could start on the bottom if you wanted to and do it that way. I just think this way will be faster for me. I will be doing it in single crochets. If you did it in a double crochet, it would go a lot faster, but I think I want my scarf just to be a little bit tighter looking like the head and the body. To fit loosely around and down to here. No, not that loose. There we go. So it's a little bit long. I'm going to take a couple out. There we go. So that is what my scarf is going to look like. So I'm going to put my snowman to the side, and I am just going to start crocheting back and forth. And you can use your stitch marker so that your ends stay straight. I'm going to, okay, so this really isn't a stitch because you already went through it. And I'm not going to go into this one, but I'm going to go into the next one. And I'm going to do a single crochet. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to put it right here. And that will be my last stitch. My chain one will always be my last stitch. So you'll need another stitch marker for the other end. So when you get down there and you do your chain one, you'll put your stitch marker in that position also. And you can just keep going back and forth until your scarf is as thick as you want it. I'm not sure how thick I'm going to make mine. I might do three rows. I'm just going to wait and see how it looks when I put it on him. But if it doesn't look thick enough, then I'll do 4. So go ahead and make your scarf, and we will be back. So here's my snowman. I have his scarf done. I did 3 rows, and I am going to hot glue it down. And I'm going to put buttons for his eyes. I think I have some orange. I'm going to crochet a nose. But if you have something orange that you can use, definitely do that. And then I have some little, they're like iron buttons where you put them on and you iron them. I think I'm going to put those for the mouth. I do not have any black yarn. So I'm going to make his hat. And I think I'm going to make a beanie, and I'm going to make it different colors. So that's my plan. But I think my scarf came out really good. So, and I do want to put a couple of buttons right here. So that's my scarf, and that is 3 rows. So let's get started on the hat. Before, we'll have everything done before we start gluing it all together, or you can sew yours together. Alrighty, so I'm going to make my hat green, white, and red. I do have variegated yarn, but since the hat's going to be so small, I'm afraid that the colors won't come through. So, you can do your hat in any color you want. I'm going to start mine with the green. I'm going to do green, white, red, and then white, green. So the easiest way that I think that I am going to do it in double crochets. I think the easiest way for me to do this is I am going to do a chain, and then I'm going to put my chain around my head where I want it to go. And then I will start crocheting from there. So let's go ahead and do a chain. Remember, we're going to go back into this chain, so don't make it too tight. And I have to tell you, because I think this is hilarious, I've been sitting here looking for my crochet hook, and I'm like, what did I do with it? I didn't get up. I didn't venture off, and I'm looking around, could not find it. It was in my hand. So yeah, that's how things go for me. So I just thought that I'm ridiculous, so I thought I had to share. All right, so I want my hat. Oh, just a few more. I'll do a few more. Like I said, I don't do patterns. I just make stuff up myself. So I hope you enjoy that kind of stuff. And I think he's going to turn out adorable. Okay. I want my hat to be about here. And I want it to slant in the back a little bit. So I have enough room for the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So maybe a couple more. And if I do make it too big, I'll just slant it more in the back of his little head. And this is always good because your head could be bigger. You could make a big, huge snowman if you wanted to. So yeah, I think that fits around his head pretty good. I don't want to lose any of my pieces. Oops. Alrighty. So I'm going to do this in the round. And so I'm just going to make it, grab it and go to the end. And I'm going to turn, and I'm just going to take my needle and I'm going to go right into that first stitch. Where is it at? Okay, I'm trying to go into the knot. There we go. I'm going to do a slip stitch to connect them. I'm going to chain 3. And we're going to start going around. We don't want it to twist. But if mine twists, I just let it go till the end and then I make it work. So I'm not going to stress. There's no reason to stress. This will be the back of my hat. Okay, so now we're going to start doing our double crochets into one loop. I'm going to yarn over. And I'm going to do a double crochet all the way around. And I'm only going to go underneath one loop. So this is going to be like the rim of my hat. So it's going to be green. I didn't want the rim of my hat to be white, just because the head is white. It would have just been too much white next to each other. And I didn't want the beginning to be red because my scarf is red, and I thought that's just too much red in one spot. Round, and I'm just going to join it to the top of my chain. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Before I join it, I'm going to change my color. And I believe I am going to do my next round in white, and I am going in I'm tying a knot really close. This is how I do it. I love knots. I'm not just pulling it through. I have my crochet hooks ready to pull through, so I'm going to tie it really tight, right like that. And I'm not going to worry about my tails because they're going to be on the inside of my hat. Then, so you can see how I did that. Then I'm going to grab my white and I'm just going to pull it through. See how easy that worked? I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to pull it really tight. Gosh, I said that with my teeth really tight. I'm going to pull it really tight so that it closes it up and you can't see that I changed the color. I'm going to chain 1. And I've decided I'm going to do this next row with single crochets. And then I'll do my red. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in single or doubles yet, but I do want to do my white. I'm not going to go, let's see, where am I going to go? So that's a stitch. Here's your next stitch. So I'm going to go underneath 2 strands, and I'm doing my single crochets. And you can do your hats any way you want to. You can make them all one color, you could do all double crochets, you could do all single crochets, whatever makes you happy. I have seen people use socks. You could even use a sock for your hat. I have my tree up, but I haven't ripped out all my Christmas decorations. And I know I have maybe, because I made so many snowmen last year. I really hope I at least saved one for myself. Okay, we're here at the end. We're not going to go in this stitch where we did our chain. And when we connect, we're not going to go into the top of the chain. We're going to go into the top of that first, I got a hair here. That first single crochet. Now we want to change our color to red. So I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to put my hook into where I want to pull it through. I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to take my red and I'm going to tie a nice knot. I'm going to tie it nice and tight because I'm just going to pull that red through to change my color. So now you can see how I did that, and I'm just going to pull my red through, pull it through the white, and I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to chain one and I'm going to pull it tight. And looky there, I think it looks really good. So I'm going to chain one, and I think I'm going to do single crochets. I think it will give it a really pretty little accent for the hat. So I'm not going to go into this one right next to it. I'm going to go into the very next one. And we're going to do single crochets all the way around. We are not going to start decreasing yet, but we will start decreasing soon. So my next round I will do green, and I'm going to do a single, and then I'll do another row of white and another row of red, and then we will meet back here. So 1, 2, 3. So after this row, do 3 more, and we will meet back here. So this is his hat so far. Isn't it cute? Ah, I like it. I haven't put the scarf down yet, but I just want to see how the hat was looking. So I am ready to go ahead and start decreasing the hat. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to decrease the hat so that it starts to come to a point. Okay, so I have my white here. And next I'm going to use red. So I'm going to take that out and get ready for my red. And I hope that your hat's coming out as well. My hat's a little big, which I'm really happy with, so that I can have it lopsided on my snowman's head. So what we're going to do now is we're going to decrease. You're just going to keep doing this to every row until you come to your point. So I'm just going to show you one row, and then you can take it from there, okay? So I'm going to pull my red through, pull it nice and tight, and I am going to make sure that this part is at the back of my head. Chain one. So to decrease, and this is what we're going to do till it gets to a nice little end. We're going to do one single crochet, then we're going to do a decrease, we're going to do 2 single crochets, and then we're going to do a decrease, we're going to do 1 single crochet, then we're going to do a decrease. So our pattern is going to be decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 2 single crochets, decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 2 single crochets, decrease, 1 single crochet. So you can see how it's already starting to go in a little bit, but it's not doing it super fast. It's gradually, and that's what we want for our hat. So you can see here we did our decrease, 2, decrease, 1, decrease, 2 single crochets and a decrease, one single crochet and a decrease, a single crochet, and we're at the end. So this is going to end really quickly. Now when you get to the end, we don't want to go into that last stitch where your chain is, and we don't want to go into the top of the chain. We want to go into the top of that stitch, and right here is where I'm going to change my color, but that's where you're going to grab it and pull it through. So it's starting to decrease here too, so I'm going to take it out so I can change my color. I'm going to stick it in that stitch that I want to use. Now you can leave your yarn connected and just carry it up, but with such a small project, I just find that that is a hassle for me. You definitely certainly could, and I find this easier for me. And it's all about your personal preference. So I'm going to tie this knot here and just keep going until yours is close to your point, and I will meet you back here. Okay? So I think I'm at the end of how far I'm going to make my hat. So I'm ready to just go ahead and close it off. I'm going to go ahead and just go into this last stitch here, and I am just going to close it up. I plan on hot gluing a piece of cotton at the end of my hat, so I'm not really too terribly worried about how it's going to look. You might want to put yours at a drawstring if you want to, but I just really want to close mine up, so I'm going to do slip stitches across. There. I am done. I'm going to tie a knot, and then I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to take my crochet hook and put it in here, and I'm just going to yank it through. I am going to stuff my hat. Just so that it stays not too much, but gosh, I am just really happy with the way this turned out. And like I said, I don't have patterns, I just kind of wing it. Just going to stick a little bit in here because I'm going to put this on the head, and even if I don't put anything on the top, I still think that looks really good. Okay. Yeah. I think the stripes on the head really makes it look nice. Okay. So now I'm just going to find some buttons for the eyes, get the nose going, find something for the mouth, and then a couple of buttons here, and then we will meet back, and I'm going to use my hot gun and I'm going to glue them together. I have these really cute buttons that I want to put on. They say homemade with love. They're super cute. I'm going to put them underneath the scarf. I have 2 of those. And then I have 2 black buttons for the eyes. But the buttons don't match perfect, but that's okay. I think they'll work just fine. And then I have a little round piece of candy that my granddaughter is using to make her gingerbread house, and I'm going to use that as a nose. I like my glue gun. It just makes everything go so fast. And so when it needs a piece, some more glue, I'll put it in there. But I'm going to go ahead and put my eyeballs on first. It's going to be cute. It's Coco. He's very interested. Those are cute. Even though they don't match perfect, they're perfect for me. We've got the little orange for his nose. It's coming together. Looks like a poor little bird right now. And now, I think I want to go ahead and hot glue his pretty red scarf. And this does hold really well, and it gets really hot. And it will melt that acrylic right together. So I think the glue is holding really well. I'm just so excited and happy. I really like it. I can't wait to get the hat on. On this hot glue gun, you can get them for like $2, maybe $3 at Walmart. They did say they had some defective ones at the Dollar Tree, so just be careful getting them there. Looking good. I'm gonna put my little buttons on. I think these buttons are a nice touch that says homemade. Oh, that hat just makes it look so good. I have a cotton swab on the top of the hat. And I'm just doing little places here and there with the hot glue for the hat. It looks so cute. He almost looks like he's wearing sunglasses. So please make your own snowman and decorate them and make them your own. It's awful cute. Dots that I thought that I would put on for a mouth. I have 4, and they're just little silver dots. And this glue gun, I just love it because it just makes it go so quick. I don't know if that's too bright. I had some silver, but I thought, you know, maybe just gold for some color. He's a snowman. And you can put whatever you want on your snowman. I think my snowman looks pretty darn good. Really happy with him. He looks really cute. I think he looks really cute. I just hot glued some beads on there for his mouth, his little buttons, his little orange nose, his hat, and I put a cotton swab on the top. I put these buttons on here that says made with love. He has a really pretty scarf on. I just think he is adorable. He is a cutie. You have to give it a try. Make it your own. Do things different ways if you want to. You guys have a great day, and I will be back soon. Thank you. Bye.